The amazing spring temperatures we've been having this week make me believe that maybe, just maybe, winter is finally letting go. And so, as promised in last week's minimal makeup refresh, this week I'm bringing you the not so minimal version. A little glam, a little glow, and a whole lot of fun. Don't worry, it's still light enough to wear for every day. It's just got a little kick. Let's dive in and I'll show you how I got this look. So the vibe today is going to be light colors, a little bit glowy, and a little bit of sparkle. So if you're new here, I do have combo oily skin. So I kind of shy away from anything that's like glowy or hydrating. But for this look, I'm going to walk right up to that line, but I'm not going to cross over. What line do you ask? The line between fresh glow and disco ball. And if you grew up with oily skin and you've battled glow your entire life, it's really, really hard to embrace it now. But I'm trying. I already primed my under eyes with the Wet n Wild Hydra Depuffer. This is a staple in my collection, and I will repurchase it as long as they continue to make it. I think that it is the perfect amount of hydration for my under eyes, which are a lot drier than the rest of my skin, and it just makes my concealer lay so nicely no matter which one I use. Today, I am going to use this purple primer from Zeesea. Purple tends to be a brightening shade, and I just really love how this looks under makeup and how it just kind of gives my skin a radiance, but not a glow. So I'm just going to put a little of this on my finger. Oh, it just spit on my neck. We have been having some... What is that? A little gloppy. As I was saying, we have been having some wonderful spring-like temperatures, and the grass is starting to green up a little bit. The robins are back. I saw one in our yard the other day, and so you can hear the birds chirping outside, and it's been really windy the last couple of days, but it's calmed down today. We actually had a late snowstorm last week, but it didn't stick around long because it got back up to in the 50s, and we're going to actually see 70 next week. So excited, and I can't wait. If you happen to be in the Southern Hemisphere and you're just getting ready to go into your winter, may the odds be ever in your favor. You have my sympathies. Okay, I'm going to wipe that off. I think you can probably see that my skin looks brightened, maybe a little bit paler, but that actually kind of helps when I put the foundation on to keep a brightened look. I really like this primer. I should have just unclogged the pump before I used it. And maybe that means I need to use it a little more often. I'm also going to use this e.l.f. Soft Glam liquid filter. Mine is in the shade 1 Fair. And I'm just going to dab a little bit on the outside of my face, kind of the perimeter. I don't want this in the center of my face. And then I'm going to grab a brush and just buff that in. Since my skin is combo, it's a little drier on the edges and can use a little bit more glow. I try to keep it away from the center of my face because I glow plenty all by myself. It is later in the day when I'm filming this, and so I didn't do my full skincare prep. I just took some warm water on a washcloth, wiped off my face to wipe off the oils and dirt from the day, put a little toner on a cotton pad, wiped off that, and then just put on some moisturizer to prep my skin for foundation. If you've already done your morning skincare but you don't put your makeup on till later, you can just refresh your skin and apply your moisturizer. You don't need all of your skincare steps again. I am going to use the e.l.f. Soft Glam Foundation. This is one of my favorite foundations. I don't know how they've done this, but it seems to be working really well for people of all skin types. I've seen people with dry skin use it and love it, and I've seen people like myself with oily skin use it and love it. It just has the most beautiful finish on the skin, and that's what I'm going for with this look. So let's put a little on the palette. So I didn't put very much at all on my palette. Dropped it and broke it and glued it back together with some Gorilla Glue because I didn't feel like going to Dollar Tree and buying another one. Anyway, so I'm just going to dab that on. And it looks like a lot. There's a lot of dots, but each dot is fairly light. I'm just going to go back with that same brush that I used for the liquid filter and just start dabbing that in. If you're over 50, one of the secrets for having a smoother, flawless base is to use less of your products. When there's less product on your skin, there's less to settle in your wrinkles. The other is to make sure you blend really, really well. And even though I didn't have very much on my palette, there's still a pretty substantial amount there. I'm going to take just the slightest amount and build right through here. I wouldn't need to do this today because I'm not going to have this on for very long, but if I were going to do this in the morning and want it to last all day, having a little bit more built up where it tends to want to wear off or slide off my face can help it to last a little bit longer through the day. And I want to make sure that I'm really focusing on the sides of my nose, getting it in all of the crevices there. And then I'm going to take my dampened beauty sponge and just lightly dab over it. And what this will do is it'll remove any extra that you have on your skin. And it didn't take off much, but there is a slight coloring to the sponge, so it just helps so that you don't have extra. And I think my skin looks pretty nice so far. Now I'm going to do my concealer, and today I have chosen to use the 18-Hour Catrice True Skin Concealer, and I'm only going to put a dot there and there on each eye. Again, with the theme, not using too much. I'm just going to take my finger and start blending. And honestly, even that was probably too much. So I'm going to take a tissue and wipe off my finger. And once I get it kind of blended with my finger, then I can come in with a brush and help spread it around a little bit more, but I'll finish it out with my finger. The brush also helps remove a little bit of the excess product. And if you're in a hurry, use both fingers. Because my eyes aren't the greatest, I do like to take my little 10x mirror and make sure that I have everything blended well. And sometimes that requires taking a puff and just slightly straightening out those wrinkles under your eye to dab out any excess product that might have settled in them. This next step, you may not need to do. If you have dry skin, you may not need to set your makeup, but I have oilier skin, and with the warmer temperatures, I do need to set my makeup. I really like this Moira Set and Correct finishing powder under my eyes. It doesn't look dry or cakey, and so I just put a light dusting of that. It has the 4 different shades in it, so the yellow and the peach are a little color correcting, the white and the purple are a little bit brightening, and I just really like how that looks under my eyes. Then I'm going to use a small amount of this Wet n Wild translucent setting powder just in my T-zone because I don't want to get shiny there, but I also don't want to take down the glow of this makeup all over my face that I've taken such care to bring in with the Halo Glow Liquid Filter and the Satin Finish Foundation. So just in the T-zone, that's where that powder's going. However, I can still set the outer portion of my face because I have this Physicians Formula Butter Glow pressed powder that has just a little bit of luminosity to it. And so I'm going to put that on the edges of my face. And maybe even a little across the bridge of my nose. So I have the benefit of the powder, but I don't lose all the glow. Oh boy, I shouldn't have powdered. I was going to do all cream products today because, going with the glow and all of that kind of stuff, but I'm flexible and I'm going to pivot because I've already powdered. Now there are some cream products that you can put on over powder and they're absolutely fine, but I have some really pretty powder products that will also help with this glow, so we're just going to use those instead. I feel like I look a little crazy without any eyebrows, so I'm going to go put those on and I'll be right back. Okay, that feels better.
So because it's spring and we might be starting to spend a little bit of time outside, we might start getting just a little bit of color in our face. So I'm going to use the Flower Beauty Heatwave Luminous Bronzer. This has a little bit of a reddish tone, which is the color that I get when I get some sun. And I am going to put this not as a contour, but actually on the high points of my cheek where I would get some sun. And I'm actually going to bring it up a little bit further than you might think you will want to bring your bronzer, because I want to look a little bit sun-kissed there to help with that fresh look, that been out in the sun, enjoying the nice temperatures. So I'm putting that there. And I've really been liking this placement. Now, I might have gone a little overboard. This bronzer is a little bit easy to get too much, but all I have to do is take that sponge and blend, and it'll be fine. And that just takes it down where it needs to be. For my blush, let's kick it way back and bring out the Milani Luminoso. This blush is so pretty, has a little bit of sheen, but it's just peachy and perfect for spring. I grab a fluffy brush, swirl that in, and this I'm going to put a little bit further back on my cheeks. Honestly, it's not a lot different from the bronzer, and because I am a little blush blind, I probably have too much, but we're going to blend again. And I haven't really been highlighting lately, but I am going to this time. This is the Catrice Holiday Skin Bronze and Glow palette. And the highlighter in here is just so smooth. It reminds me a lot of the Essence Pure Nude highlighter in Be My Highlight, because it highlights, but it doesn't glitter. It really does just look lit from within. So I'm going to put a little of that on with the brush and then blend with my finger so that I don't have a stripe. And I know that I haven't done my eyes yet, but while I have this, I'm going to go ahead and put that there. Normally also don't highlight my brow bone, but for this fresh look, yeah, I'm doing it. I'm ready to move on to eyes, and the palette that I'm going to use for today is the Colourpop Wild Nothings. I got this at the end of last year when Colourpop was doing their $5 palettes. They were having some crazy deals. But look at this and tell me that that doesn't just scream spring. So we're doing that one. I just had the best interruption. My son and daughter-in-law and grandbaby came by, and so I was visiting with them for a little bit, and the time has shifted and I'm losing light. So if the lighting is a bit different than it was in the previous part of the video, that's why. Hopefully it's not too jarring. I went ahead and took down my hair. I don't think I need it up anymore. And because I was gone so long, the little light over there lost its charge, so it's no longer glowing for us. Anyway, I'm going to use the Wet n Wild Brulee to just lay down a base to start this eyeshadow. And as I said, I'm going to be using the Colourpop Wild Nothings because I think this is just such a beautiful spring palette. All of these peachy corals and then this little pop of green in there. So pretty. I'm going to do the look first without the green so that if you are a little color shy, you can see the look just peachy coral. But then I think I'm going to put that green on so that if you're a little more adventurous with color, I can show you how to do that too. I'm going to use the Morphe M518 and go in with this shade over here. It is Top Down, and I'm just going to start laying that down in the crease and slightly above. Very light shade. So it's just kind of starting the gradient. That's the word I'm looking for. In fact, I'm not sure if I can even see it, but we'll go ahead and do the same thing to the other eye. And then I'm going to move to the next deeper shade. Yeah, you can see it. All right, moving down into Morningside using the same brush. And I'm going to just put that one a little bit more concentrated in the crease. And it's always a good idea to stop and look in your mirror and make sure, especially if you have hooded eyes, that you can still see that color that you put on with your eyes open, okay? And then I'm going to take a more tapered brush And I'm going to go into this deeper shade here, but I'm also going to go into this one because I don't want it to be quite as deep as that. I just want it a little bit lighter. And so don't be afraid to blend your shadows. There's literally no one policing these things. And I'm going to bring it a little bit under as well. But I don't want to introduce too much brown to this look. I just want a little bit of depth. And so if it gets too much brown, I will blend and then add some more of the peachy coral. Taking a clean brush and blending that. And then back with the peachy coral. There we go. I am going to take Alcove with my finger, and I'm going to just pat that on the lid. Oh, it's so pretty. Now, if you are not a shimmer girl, that's fine. You don't have to like shimmer if you don't want to. You could use this one here that has just a tiny little bit of sparkle and put that on the lid, or you could just use the mattes and do an all matte look. It's up to you, but I like the sparkle. Now I'm going to go into Coastline, and it is not as sparkly as that last one that I just put on. It's more smooth, yes. And because we're going for a light spring look, that's all I'm going to do with the shadow. I'm going to go ahead and do the liner and the lashes before I add any of that green. For the liner, I am going to use a brown and tight line. And then I'm going to use a light gold on the lower waterline. I think that really just opens up the eyes and brightens everything up. And then for lashes, I'm going to use the Maybelline Lash Sensational. This is the mascara that I'm focusing on to get it used up by April. I just finished my mascara, liner, and brow declutter. If you want to see that, I'll put that in the cards. And in that, I got rid of the vast majority of the mascaras that I own, and also a lot of liners. So if you want to see a very brutal declutter, check out that video. Two coats of the Maybelline Lash Sensational, and I think my lashes actually do look sensational. They're fanned out, they're not spidery or clumpy, and really give good volume and length with this mascara. So I'm very happy with that. All that's left is the lip, and I am going to use the e.l.f. Cream Glide Lip Liner in Pinky Swear. These actually have the name on the cap. It is so tiny. At one time, I wrote the names on there with a Sharpie, but it actually wore off. So even though it says it's Pinky Swear, it is not really pink. It's a little bit more coral, and I think it's going to be perfect with this look and the lipstick that I'm going to wear. Because we're going for light, fresh, and glowy, I am going to use my Tarte Maracuja Juicy Lip in Fig. I don't want a liquid lip or something heavy. I just want something light and glossy on my lips. It has a really balmy texture, and it smells like coconut, which also puts me in mind of summer. The last thing I need is a little spritz of setting spray, because if I were putting this on in the morning and wanting it to last all day, that's what I would do. This is the e.l.f. Power Grip Dewy Setting Spray, and I was worried about it with that dewy in there, but I have used it, and it's actually just really nice. And it has this mist that is so fine. I just love it. It's even finer, I think, than the Microfine Stay All Night setting mist, which is my absolute favorite setting mist of any of them. I haven't used this one enough to know if it's going to bump that one out of the top spot or not. All right, so as promised, I'm going to add this green. Oh, it's so pretty. And I'm just going to put that right in the center.
and a little bit on that inner portion as well. And it just does something special to this look. Just kicks it up a notch. I love this palette. I think it's so pretty. And so that's my glam version of the spring refresh. Still easy, right? If you've been having spring weather where you are, tell me what you've been doing to enjoy it. Also, if you made it this far, drop me a daisy in the comments so I can say thank you to those of you who watch my videos all the way through. I appreciate you so very much. If you enjoy this content for the mature woman over 50, make sure that you subscribe and turn those notifications on so you don't miss any of my uploads. If you missed last week's video on the minimal makeup version of the spring refresh, I'm going to put that one right there so you can go back and watch it. I hope you all have a beautiful, blessed day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.